History doesn't have mercy on the man who picks the wrong woman. That's the unwritten rule every guy eventually learns. But most figure it out way too late, standing there, looking at the wreckage of their life, wondering how they let everything fall apart without even putting up a fight. Here's the thing nobody's going to tell you. Your mom won't warn you. Your buddies can't see it coming. And society. They're making money off your blindness. But Machiavelli, he understood something most people refuse to face. Behind every man who's lost everything, it wasn't bad luck or fate that destroyed him. It was the wrong woman he let into his life. While everyone else is selling you fairy tales about love and loyalty, Machiavelli cut straight to the truth. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. You're not here for feel-good stories. You're here to survive what's coming. Let me break this down for you in a way no one else will dare to say out loud. There are exactly two types of women in this world: beneficial and destructive. That's it. No middle ground. No gray areas. No exceptions. You're either leveling up your life by choosing her, or you're slowly destroying yourself by keeping her around. And here's what's really messed up about today's world. Most women have perfected the art of looking beneficial while actually being parasites underneath. Yeah, I said it. You can sugarcoat that however you want, but it won't stop your life from going up in flames when you choose wrong. This isn't about being bitter toward women. This is about strategy, pure and simple. Because Machiavelli taught us something crucial. He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. And that someone has always been the guy who lets his feelings override his brain. So here's your first rule. And you better memorize this: never choose based on looks alone. Never. She could be the most stunning woman you've ever laid eyes on. But if her mind is empty, her values are garbage, and her loyalty goes to whoever's paying the most attention, you're not looking at a queen. You're looking at beautiful poison, Machiavelli said. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Most guys will never look past the surface. But the smart man, the strategic man, he digs deeper. He studies her patterns, her choices, her loyalties, how she handles discipline. He watches what she does when nobody's looking, how she talks about people behind their backs, how she treats service workers, her family, even herself. Because every guy who's lost everything ignored these warning signs. You don't just stumble into finding a good woman. You select her. You test her. You observe her like a general studying the battlefield. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Stop being the fool who waits until he's trapped to figure things out. Here's your second rule. Never choose a woman who doesn't respect masculine authority. Period. If she sees your strength as something threatening instead of protective, walk away. If she's constantly competing with your leadership instead of supporting it, walk away. If she questions your vision but brings no wisdom to the table, walk away. A woman who can't respect masculine order will turn your entire life into chaos. This is exactly how successful men fall. This is how legacies get destroyed. You're not there to save her or fix her problems. You're there to build something meaningful. And building requires people working together, not constant opposition. Machiavelli warned that men who don't secure their position of strength quickly become slaves to the very forces they thought they could handle. You think you can deal with her drama. You think you can manage her disrespect. You think love will somehow fix everything. It won't. because she already knows something you don't. You've chosen her, which means she now holds the power you just handed over. Power isn't something you negotiate in relationships. You either have it or you've given it away. Most guys, desperate to be loved, hand over their power wrapped up in pretty words like compromise and understanding and partnership. Nice words, but they're lies that'll destroy you. Machiavelli was brutal about exposing this fantasy. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you have to choose between the two. You hear that? Because in the real world, love without respect is just slavery with a smile. The man who lets a woman control him in the name of keeping peace is no different from a puppet king wearing a fake crown while his kingdom crumbles. Want to know who she really is? Watch how she reacts when you set boundaries. Tell her no to something. See what happens. Cut off her access to your time, your money, your attention for a while. Listen to that silence. Will she respect your space, or will she try to manipulate you back with tears, guilt trips, and empty promises? Most women today have been trained by society to believe men exist to serve their endless emotional needs. And most men, desperate to keep things peaceful, get down on their knees and serve. But you're not most men. Not after hearing this. Your third rule is this: watch how she handles boredom. Every woman is on her best behavior when she's being entertained, getting gifts, receiving constant attention. But boredom reveals true character. Does she create something valuable when things get quiet? Or does she stir up drama just to feel alive again? Does she sit patiently or start stupid arguments just to feel important? The woman who can't control her emotions when she's bored will absolutely destroy your life when real problems hit. You want someone who brings peace to your world, not a time bomb that explodes every time life gets normal. Then there's this lie you've been told your whole life, that a woman's body count doesn't matter, that her past is none of your business, that you're insecure if you care about it. Machiavelli would laugh at that nonsense. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Men today have been fooled into thinking a woman's history has no impact on her loyalty. But history is the only predictor you have of the future. A woman who's betrayed others before meeting you isn't starting fresh. She's just getting better at hiding the knife. Your fourth rule: never invest in a woman whose values don't match yours. You're a man with a mission, or at least you should be. A man with a mission doesn't marry just for physical attraction. He aligns with someone who shares his purpose. If she mocks your discipline, rolls her eyes at your ambitions, cares more about Instagram likes than building something real with you, leave. I don't care how good she looks or how sweet she sounds when she wants something. The wrong woman will cost you your destiny. And no amount of temporary pleasure is worth sacrificing your potential. Here's the rule nobody wants to hear, but every man must live by. If she doesn't fear losing you, she'll never truly value you. That's the coldest truth of all. The woman who believes you'll always be there no matter what, no matter how she disrespects you, no matter how little value she adds, that woman will slowly grow to despise you. Why? Because what costs nothing has no value. Machiavelli knew this. Men should be either caressed or crushed. Women will do the same to you. If she can't lose you, she'll crush you. If she fears losing you, she'll rise to meet your standards. Men who are feared aren't cruel. They're respected because their absence would actually mean something. So stop being so available. Stop rewarding bad behavior with more attention. Stop begging for scraps when you should be commanding respect. The man who's willing to walk away holds all the power. Always has. Always will. It's easy to talk about these principles. Living them is a completely different story. Because to actually live them, you first have to kill the fool inside you. The romantic fool. The desperate fool. The little boy who still believes love alone can change a woman's nature. You've been programmed to think your sincerity will save you, that your loyalty will transform her, that your devotion will make her stay. It won't. This is exactly why so many men are broken today. Not because of women, but because of their own delusions about women. Machiavelli was merciless with men who refused to face reality. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. And make no mistake, fear holds way more power than love. It always has. It always will. The woman you can't walk away from is the woman who owns you, and she knows it. Watch how differently a woman treats the man she knows she could lose. Her tone gets softer, her loyalty gets sharper, her drama disappears. But the man who makes himself endlessly available, he gets the opposite. She grows colder, bolder, more testing, not because she's evil, but because female nature doesn't trust what it doesn't respect. A man who won't protect his own value isn't worth following. Let me make this crystal clear. The most dangerous woman in your life is the one who sees you as an emotional dumping ground, but not as a leader. You think she loves you because she vents to you, cries on your shoulder, tells you all her fears. But pay attention. Does she actually follow your guidance? Does she respect your leadership? Does she step up when you raise the standard? If not, you're not her king. You're her emotional trash can. And she'll use you until she finds a man she actually respects. You think that's harsh? Good. Let it sting. Because that pain you're feeling right now is what's going to wake you up. Most men try to negotiate respect. They try to earn it by doing more, bending further, making themselves smaller. Idiots. Machiavelli warned us. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. You've been deceiving yourself long enough. Respect is never negotiated. It's commanded. And if you have to beg for it, you've already lost it. So how do you command respect? By living like you're willing to lose her at any moment. The man who fears loss becomes her servant. The man who embraces loss becomes her obsession. She will test you. She will push your boundaries. She will try to see if you're all talk and no action. You must act. You must walk away. You must disappear. Not to punish her, but to remind her that you're a man who values himself more than he fears being alone. Here's the most overlooked step of all. Watch her relationship with men in general, not just her exes or male friends, but how she talks about men as a whole. Does she admire masculine strength or mock it? Does she speak well of her father, brothers, mentors? Or does she carry bitterness and resentment toward the men who came before you? A woman who secretly hates men will never fully submit to you. She might act sweet at first, but that bitterness will surface. It always does. When it does, you'll realize you married a competitor, not a companion. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Her words mean nothing if her patterns don't back them up. Don't marry potential. Don't invest in promises. Invest in patterns. If her life was chaotic before you, it won't magically become peaceful with you. If her habits were lazy before you, they won't suddenly become disciplined beside you. You're not the exception. You're just the next fool if you ignore what's right in front of you. Let me tell you why most men ignore all this advice. Deep down, you want to believe you're the one who can change her. You think your love is special. You think your patience will finally crack the code. You think if you stick around long enough, she'll wake up one day and realize you're the prize. She won't. You're not her father. You're not her therapist. You're not her savior. You're a man, and a man's time is his life. Every minute you waste trying to reform a woman who refuses to change is a minute stolen from your future self. Machiavelli said it perfectly. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Every second you delay cutting ties with the wrong woman, you're living as that fool. Here's something you won't hear in any motivational speech. No woman on earth is your purpose. Not one. Your purpose is your mission, your discipline, your empire. A woman is either an asset to that purpose, or she's a liability. Most men flip this completely upside down. They make the woman their purpose, their center, their reason for existing. When she senses this, she loses all respect for him. Why? Because women don't trust men who orbit around them. Women trust men who orbit around nothing but their mission. This is why the same woman who disrespects one man will worship another. The difference isn't the woman, it's the man's frame, his foundation, his unshakable core. Here's your next brutal lesson. Never choose a woman who can't thrive without you. Want to know who she really is? Step back and watch how she lives when you're not around. Does she fall apart, or does she rise up? The woman who needs constant attention, constant validation, constant hand-holding, she will be your death. But the woman who multiplies when you're absent, who holds things together when you're gone, who respects the mission even when you're not watching, that's a woman worth keeping. Machiavelli warned that it's better to be feared than loved if you can't have both. In relationships, this means you must be willing to make her uncomfortable in the name of your standards. If she crosses a line, you call it out immediately. If she disrespects your time, you withdraw it. If she tests your strength, you show her the door, not because you're cruel, but because you're protecting what you're building. If you bend once, you'll bend forever. And she knows this. Here's the next commandment. Choose a woman whose presence strengthens your discipline, not weakens it. A woman who encourages your laziness, tempts you to skip your workouts, laughs when you say no to distractions. That woman is sabotaging your success. She might smile while doing it. She might call it love, but it's betrayal. A real woman, a beneficial woman, is your ally in discipline. She sharpens you. She challenges you to rise higher. She holds you to your word. She doesn't beg you to stay comfortable. She dares you to stay sharp. Let me say something to the man who's already trapped. The man listening right now thinking, "But I've already chosen wrong. It's not too late." But it will cost you everything you've built around that mistake. Your pride, your time, maybe your money. Ask yourself this: what's more expensive, leaving now or dying slowly for the next 20 years? Because the wrong woman will drain you until there's nothing left. And when you're empty, she'll leave anyway. Because nature has no sympathy for the man who refuses to lead himself. Machiavelli knew that people respect what they fear losing. If she doesn't fear losing you, it means you've already taught her you have no backbone. But that changes today. You're not here to be a footnote in her story. You're here to build a kingdom. And the kingdom you build will either be strengthened or destroyed by the woman you allow into it. The problem with most modern men isn't that they're weak, It's that they've been trained to believe their weakness is compassion, that letting everything slide is tolerance, that enduring disrespect is love. Machiavelli stripped this delusion down to its core. A prince who is not himself wise cannot be wisely advised. If you are weak, you will only attract voices that encourage your weakness. This is why men with no standards seem to collect the most chaotic women. You thought you were just unlucky. You thought you kept meeting the wrong ones. No, you invited them in. You allowed them to stay. You chose them because your weakness called to their chaos like fire calls to gasoline. Let me hit you with something that might offend you, but it needs to be said. You are exactly where you deserve to be. Whatever woman you have in your life right now, whether she's a blessing or a curse, you selected her. Maybe through carelessness, maybe through desperation, maybe because you were bored, but you made that choice. Until you face that brutal truth, like a man, you'll keep repeating the same cycle, blaming women, blaming society, blaming bad luck. Enough. Take ownership, because Machiavelli's lessons only work for the man who's ready to stop playing victim. Here's what most men do. They wait for the perfect woman to just magically appear. They do nothing to build their own value. They do nothing to sharpen their judgment. They float through life hoping they'll just feel it when it's right. But feelings are liars. Women have mastered the art of triggering exactly the feelings you crave: validation, comfort, intimacy. But here's the final law, and if you forget everything else, remember this. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see a thing, but few can understand it. You have eyes, but do you have insight? Do you have the courage to sit across from a beautiful woman and see through the performance? Do you have the strength to walk away when your body is screaming at you to stay? Because real men choose based on wisdom, not hunger. Based on alignment, not addiction. Based on long-term strategy, not short-term lust. Here's your final commandment. Test her loyalty when you're absent before you trust her when you're present. Any woman can act right when you're watching. The real test is who she becomes when you're not around. Does she keep your name clean when you're not in the room? Does she reject other men's attention without you having to police her? Does she live by your standards when there's no reward for doing so? Or does she drift the moment your back is turned? The woman who can't be trusted when you're gone is the same woman who'll betray you when you're at your weakest. Don't apologize for having high standards. Don't apologize for walking away when she fails to meet them. You're not here to settle. You're not here to gamble with your future. You're here to build. And if she can't build with you, she will tear you down. Not because she's evil, but because that's the law of nature. Machiavelli warned rulers to fortify their cities, secure their gates, control their borders. Why? Because kingdoms fall when outsiders gain unchecked access to what must be protected. You are a kingdom. Your time, your energy, your resources, your purpose. They are your fortress. Guard them like your life depends on it, because it does. Now you need to understand the final game being played against you, the illusion of endless options. Modern society has sold you a lie that women are everywhere, that you should keep swiping, keep chasing, keep lowering your standards because there's always another one coming. But Machiavelli knew better. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. Nothing bankrupts a man faster than chasing women who bring nothing but debt to his mind, his spirit, and his future. Here's the truth. Most women today are not worth selecting. You know it deep down. You feel it. You see it every time you open your phone and watch women competing for likes, but not for legacy. Performing for strangers, but refusing to be a worthy partner to a man with a mission. Yet you keep telling yourself to settle, to compromise, to tolerate. Why? Because you're scared to be alone. But here's the final blow you must accept. Better alone than with the wrong woman. The wrong woman won't just waste your time. She'll strip you of the very thing that makes you a man. Your edge, your clarity, your purpose. Look around. Look at the men you once admired who fell into the arms of women who never truly respected them. Look at their faces now. Tired, drained, silent. That's your future if you ignore this message. While you're entertaining the wrong woman, the right one is walking past you, watching you degrade yourself, watching you shrink your standards, watching you sell your future for nothing more than temporary attention. You must become a man willing to suffer the loneliness of waiting for the right woman rather than bowing to the convenience of the wrong one. Machiavelli taught rulers to sacrifice the easy path for the path of power. The ends justify the means, and the end for you is your legacy, your peace, your purpose. The means, ruthless, disciplined selection. Because every woman you allow in your life is either sharpening your sword or dulling your edge. There is no neutral woman. There is no harmless choice. The woman you choose will either multiply your life or multiply your misery. She'll either pour fuel on your fire or drain every drop of your ambition. She'll either stand beside you like a fortress or tear you apart like a silent enemy within your gates. This isn't paranoia. This is historical reality. Kings have fallen not to armies, but to the woman they trusted most. Great men have been reduced to nothing, not by their enemies, but by the woman they allowed into their bed, their mind, their kingdom. Here's the brutal irony. The woman you failed to choose wisely will be the one you spend your life explaining to everyone else. You'll tell your friends you didn't know. You'll tell your family it just happened. You'll tell yourself it wasn't that bad. But deep down, you'll know. You'll know you saw the signs. You'll know you heard this very message and ignored it. And when your kingdom burns, no one will come to put out the fire, because no one saves a man from his own cowardice. Machiavelli didn't write for men who wanted to be liked. He wrote for men who wanted to win. If you truly want to win, if you truly want to build a life worth defending, then you must choose like a ruler, not like a fool. You must test like a king, not like a beggar. You must stand ready to walk away, not because you're cold, but because your mission is too great, your purpose too valuable, and your time too limited to waste on anyone who doesn't multiply what you're building. Now you stand at the edge of a decision that will define you, not just as a man, but as a builder of legacy or as the next forgotten casualty of weakness. You've heard the warnings. You've felt the truth burning in your chest. You know without doubt that your future depends on how you select the woman beside you. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. Because the moment you lower your standards, the moment you ignore what you've heard tonight, the moment you settle for entertainment over alignment, you set the timer on your own destruction. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to wake you up, because comfort is what got you here. Comfort made you tolerate what should have been unacceptable. Comfort turned kings into beggars, warriors into servants, visionaries into forgotten men who tell themselves it'll get better, while knowing deep down it never will. Not with her. Not with that kind of woman. Here's the last law you must burn into your mind. You don't rise by being lucky with women. You rise by being ruthless with your standards. The world won't applaud you for this. You won't be celebrated. You'll be mocked. They'll call you harsh, cruel. But the man who stands alone with his peace is richer than the man who stands surrounded by chaos, disguised as love. Make your choice. If this message hit you in the chest, if something inside you shifted, if you finally understand what no one else had the courage to tell you, then don't scroll away. Take action. Like this video right now. Share it with the men you care about because you know they need to hear it too. Subscribe to this channel for more brutal, unapologetic truth you won't hear anywhere else. And if you believe in this mission, if you want to help spread this message to men across the world who are still asleep, support the channel. This isn't just content. This is a movement. This is a war for the future of men. Those who refuse to wake up will be the ones telling stories of what they lost, while you'll be building a life they'll never touch. Make your choice, and make it now.